Hey everybody, Gary here, and in this video we're going to go over some tips for playing I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. So I was just jamming through this one. There's a few different options for the chords. So at first glance it might look simple because there's only 3 chords, E, A, and B. But that B chord could be a doozy. So we're going to talk about some different ways to tackle that B chord. I'm going to give you a few different options for playing it. And then I'm also going to give you a riff that you could play in the intro, that iconic riff that I'm sure you've heard. And then we're also going to talk about if you want a solo during the song, what scale you might use. Alright, so the 3 chords of the song are E, A, and B. Now the B, I'm going to give you a few options on that one. First, let's talk about the E and the A. So on the E, you can see that you already got your 2nd and 3rd finger in the 2nd fret. So kind of use those as a guide when you go down to the A. Just pull them down 2 strings and then put that 1st finger in there. So from this E, I'm just pulling these 2 fingers down. I'm not lifting them off the fretboard. I'm just pulling them down like that. Okay, so from E, pull these 2 fingers down, then get that first one on top, and there's your A. Okay, now I'm going to give you an alternate fingering for A, and that is to use fingers 2, 3, and 4. That's how I play it because I've got bigger fingers. They're not that big, but I just find 2, 3, and 4, it's easy for me to sneak them all into that 2nd fret. So then from the E, you just bring those 2 fingers down 1 string and drop the pinky. So find which one works for you. Okay. Now on the B chord, you'll see that in the simple version, it gives you this B. It actually gives you this B right here, which to me is a very difficult chord and it's not very practical. It requires basically doing that A chord up 2 frets and then putting your 1st finger as a bar across the 2nd fret. Very hard and hard to play in the moment. So here's how I generally play the B chord. I use either my 3rd finger or my pinky as a bar across that 4th fret. So I put the 1st finger down here on the 2nd fret of the A, and then I bar that 3rd finger, and then I mute out the high E string by just getting the right angle of my hand so that I get these 3 on the 4th fret to ring out, but then the high E to be muted. That takes a little while to get the hang of, but it's a 2-finger chord instead of a 4-finger chord, so it's worth the practice. So the way that you should practice that, first see if you can get the bar here with your 3rd finger. It might require pulling your elbow out a little bit and doing a kind of twisting motion. Try to get that bar on strings 2, 3, and 4. Then once you get that bar, sneak that 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Now remember to keep that thumb kind of in between all the fingers. You don't want the thumb over there or too much over there. If you were able to see through the neck, it would look like that, okay? Now on these bars, it's all about dropping that thumb low, pushing that wrist out so that this finger is flat. You don't want that finger like this, cramped up or on an angle. You want it straight up and down and flat. Okay, so once that's flat, you got your bar. Then put that 1st finger down. Okay, now, if that's too difficult, you could just play the bar. So you can go literally, let's say E, A, and then B. Just get those 3 notes. And that works too. Now another option is to do these 3 notes of the chord. So if we looked at that original shape, which was like this, the one you'll see on the screen in the basic chords, we could isolate the top 3 strings and play it like that. So I've got finger 3, 4, and first finger. So you've got that one, you've got just the barred notes, and then you got the full thing like this. Now one other tip, if you're doing the full bar, try to mute out the low E string with the very tip of your finger. So the tip of the finger touches the low E and mutes it out. So now I've got that muted and the high E muted. All right, now the way that I would play the B, it's in the pro section because it's a 7th chord. That means there's actually 4 notes in the chord. There's the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. Now, if that music theory doesn't make sense, don't worry, but it's a more sophisticated sounding chord, but not more sophisticated technique-wise. So check this way out. No bar required. 4 fingers are required, but no bar. So you've got fingers 2 on the 2nd fret of the A, finger 1 on the 1st fret of the D, finger 3 on the 2nd fret of the G, open B string, and then finger 4, pinky, on the 2nd fret of the high E. Great chord, very useful. So that's what I would do. I would go. And that also keeps everything on these 2 frets, makes life much simpler. So that's what I would do. Now in the strum section, you're going to see a suggested strum. Let's play along to it on an E chord. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Awesome. All right, now if all of that sounds really intimidating, just do this. I can't get no satisfaction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll totally work. Find what works for you. You can grow through this song. You can start with easy chords, beginner strum, and work your way up to the full strumming pattern, and then with some of the more difficult versions of the chords. I also want to show you an iconic riff that you could play in the intro. It goes like this. So see if you could sing it with me first to get it in your head. It goes bum ba ba da 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 da. All right, you got it? So now here's how to play it. First finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Then we go 2nd, 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 4th, 5th. And we play that 4th and 5th fret with fingers 3 and 4. 2nd, 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 4th, 5th. Bum, bum, ba, da, da. Then the next part, fret-wise, goes 5, 5, pull off, 4, pull off. So to do the pull off, you play and then pull off to the previous fretted note. And that pulling off, it's kind of like you're picking with your finger a little bit. It's like a downward and outward. But you have to keep the previous fretted note, the finger on that note, down very solid for it to work. So we've got 5, 5, pull to 4, and then 4, pull to 2. 5, 5, pull to 4, 4, pull to 2. So putting it together. And that's it, then it repeats. Okay, now some people might just use fingers 1 and 3 and use slides instead. Watch this. A slide and a pull off. So we've got 2, 2, 2, 4, slide to 5, then 5, 5, slide to 4, then 4, pull off to 1. You might find that easier. Again, fret-wise, 2, 2, 2, 4, slide to 5, 5, 5, slide back to 4, 4, pull off to 2. So pay attention to which notes I'm picking and which I'm either pulling off or sliding. So here we go. You see that part? Now after you get back to here, it goes right back into the riff. So I'll put it together twice in a row. Alright, so that riff would be great to play in the intro as the song's starting out. So I'm going to play that riff, and then when the vocals come in, I'm going to go into the strumming. Here we go. Alright, so now let's say you wanted to jam over this backing track. So it's in the key of E major, but part of playing the blues is to play a minor pentatonic scale, a minor scale over major chords. It has a really interesting sound that's characteristic of the blues. So what I would do here is jam an E minor pentatonic for the most part. So here's what that would sound like. Alright, so what I'm going to show you is the open E minor pentatonic scale. And then this little extension box that looks like a house that you could add to it. So the way to play the open E minor pentatonic, starting on the lowest E string, we've got open, 3rd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret. So from the low E string, 03, 02, 02, 02, 03, 03. A lot of times you'll hear players use hammer-ons and pull-offs in this area to go a little faster. So if I did pull-offs, you see that I just picked each string one time. Or hammer-ons, I picked each string one time and then I hammered on. Or pull off. So whichever works for you. So you can riff along with those notes. And then you slide up from this last note on the 3rd fret, 2 frets with your 3rd finger, and then now you go fret 5, fret 3, then 5, 3 on the next string, and then 4. So that's like the roof, the peak of the house. Then here's the top of the 1st floor, and here's the foundation. So between these riffs here, between these notes on the 1st and 2nd string, you've really got a lot of options. And I'm using slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, vibrato, to kind of bring it to life a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to play the jam track without the vocals. I'm just going to play the backing track for a little while, and I want you to experiment with these notes. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody, I hope you had a great time jamming with me on this classic song from the Rolling Stones. Now, I encourage you to grab your app, play along by yourself, work through the whole song, have some fun with this one. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please click that subscribe button and tap the bell so that you know when there's more content coming out. And I'll see you guys in the next lesson.